Yo, what's going on? And welcome to some Duel Links. And recently I have been getting back into Duel Links, but as you can see here, I am still rookie rank because I haven't really been playing any PvP. Once this loads, it doesn't actually say our rank here, but whatever, that's the rookie rank symbol. So we're going to try to climb all the way from rookie to KOG. Now, I've never actually been KOG, and I know they added a lot more ranks in between, so it'd probably take me a good amount of time. And I've been like high platinum, maybe even legend. I think I was just like right before legend, but I've never played out to like my absolute maximum. Like, I just kind of stopped playing. It wasn't because I couldn't win, it was because I wasn't trying to get any higher. Mostly I only play PvP to gain rewards, so in like KC Cups I would easily get to rank 20, qualify for the KC Cup, maybe play a few games to get in like the top few thousand and get whatever reward there was for that, but I never tried to get number one, never tried to get KOG, anything like that. So I thought it would be fun to go from rookie, try and see if we can get to KOG. I think we can, but maybe we'll get stuck somewhere in legend. But first we need a deck, and I don't have a deck that I want to use, so we're gonna build one. And once we load into the shop here, you can see we have pretty much maximum gems that you can have. I guess I'll leave the shop really fast. We're too short of the maximum gems, and that's because I think I like bought a pack just so I could collect more gems. In here in our missions, we got 50 more gems, and we have tons of gems in here, and I'm not sure exactly how many gems we have, but let's just say we have anywhere between 13 to 15,000 gems. And I'm going to show you how to build a competitive deck with only that many gems. Now it's above the maximum amount of gems, so it takes a little bit of time to save it up, but honestly if you're just logging in doing a few duels a day, you can very quickly stack up to these gems, especially with the amount of gems they give you every time a new box releases. Now, originally, when I was looking at a deck that I wanted to build, I thought of doing the new Dark Magician, because if we look at this new box, the new Dark Magician... Come on. The new Dark Magician card is the Dark Magician Circle, which is a UR card that you probably need 2 to 3 of to be effective. Now, if you want to play Dark Magician, though, you're also going to need another UR card that you can find in this mini box over here called Magician's Navigation. And pretty much these are the only 2 cards you need. If you play Duel Links, they've given you all the other tools you need. Like, you might need Eye of Timaeus or Timaeus down here, but you'll definitely get that while going for Magician Navigation. But if you can get 2 to 3 circles and 3 Magician Navigations, you probably have all your Dark Magicians already, and all the other cards that you use in the deck are earnable. So you can just level up Arcana, get like half of the deck. You can, through like past events, you probably have half of the deck, and if you don't have those event cards, then your tickets will allow you to pull them. Now, this deck is a little bit expensive for me because it would require me to go through this box about 3 times, which is 15,000 gems right there, and then we still need to go through this main box, the Future Horizon, once or twice to get ourselves some circles. So I am going to go with Ritual Beast, which is a deck that I have been a fan of for a while. I have a real-life Ritual Beast deck, which was actually before this card up here, Spiritual Beast Tamer Winda, existed. And Spiritual Beast Winda is just insane. Like, she counts as both a Ritual Beast, because you look at her name, it's a Ritual Beast and a Spiritual Beast. Wait, what are the 2? Hold on. It's, because the 2 you need are a Ritual Beast and a... Hold your horse. Ritual Beast Tamer and a Spiritual Beast. There we go. So those are the 2 delineations we need, but as you can see, the word ritual is part of spiritual. So she is both a Spiritual Beast Tamer and a Spiritual Beast. So she makes the deck very good. Now, I've already pulled like 27 packs from this box just because I had too many gems and I was pulling for fun. So it's going to take us slightly less, and on the path to pulling those 27 packs, I pulled one Cannahawk already, but we're going to need 3 of these. We're going to need 3 Windas. We're going to need 3 Ritual Beasts, Ultia Peleos, maybe 2, kind of depends on your preference. And then everything else is pretty much fair game in the Ritual Beasts because they're all rare or lower. So we will probably acquire, we already have 3 of some of these just from pulling 27 packs. So we'll have plenty of everything else. But we're looking for those 3 cards primarily. And when looking at a mini box where you're trying to get a specific deck, so we're trying to get Ritual Beasts, it's important to look at the other cards you might actually want that are super rare or above. Now, Yosenju isn't really a deck I'm interested in, so in this case, I'm not going to be concerned with getting any of the Yosenju cards. So that would be this ultra rare up here. We're not going to worry about it. If we get it, we get it. If we don't, we already have one apparently. I must have done some deal that gave me a UR of that. But, so none of these we really care about. I also have one of these somehow. What I do care about, however, is possibly getting the Crystron cards. So every time we go through the box, we're going to make sure we get our 3 core cards here. And we're going to make sure we get this Crystron card. This card, I don't really care that much about. We'll probably get 1 or 2. I don't think it's that relevant. This card is a Yosenju card, so again, we won't concern ourselves with that one. Although we could use it in Ritual Beasts, but I don't think we would. This card we could make use of, but it's just kind of a random card. It's not staple anywhere. This card, another Crystron card that we're going to need if we want to ever build Crystrons. So we're looking for this one, as well as this one for Crystrons. And then the final card that we probably want to make sure we get 3 copies of are Super Team Buddy Force Unite. Just kind of a random card, but I think it could be useful in certain decks right now and even decks in the future. So since we're going to be pulling this box to our limit, we're going to pull everything that we want out of it, and then we'll probably never look at this box again. So we're going to ignore the Yosenjus, and we're going to get these 3 random cards. I'm going to call them random cards for now, even though they're Crystron and Super Team Buddy Force. Possibly some of these, and then our 3 core cards. And that's what we're aiming for. Once we have those 6 cards, then we reset the box. So we're going to try and do this as efficiently as possible. Now, since we're still at the beginning of the box, we're going to start with 10 packs. And it'll make it go a little bit faster. But once we get closer to actually having acquired all 6 of those cards, which we already have 1 of, then we will probably single pull. Oh, this is going to go through all of these. I kind of like the animations. It's kind of like addicting. So there's our Crystron card already. So that's good. But we'll probably try and skip some of these in the future. We'll pull these first 10, and then we'll see where we're at. Obviously, we need those Cannahawks, but we'll have plenty of those by the end of all this. We need Petal Fins. So let's get to the end of these packs. That's a whole lot of nothing. Okay, this might be something. Could be one of our UR cards. It looks like it is going to be the Ultra Synchro, Ultra Rare Synchro. So there we have that one, which means we have 3 of our 6 cards already done. And again, there's going to be a lot of core cards that aren't really that rare. So like we just drew Ambush, which I don't think we're going to use Ambush, but it is a card that people like to use. It's definitely an option. I have a very specific build that I plan to use for this deck. Let me take off my jacket. So yeah, I have a very specific build that I plan to use for this deck, but we'll probably show off like other options you can also use. So we can see we got our Crystron, we have our Cannahawk, and we have our Ritual Beast. We're still looking for Winda. Still looking for Crystron Impact, and we're still looking for Super Team Buddy Force. So let's pick up the pace a little bit. We'll go for 10 packs, which is still probably safe until we get down to needing one more card. Skip this, see what we got. So really nothing in that 10 draw, which is fine. We pretty much, how I've calculated it out is we would expect to spend all 15,000 of our gems. Any gems that we can save is just a bonus. But we're also going to be doing this as efficiently as possible to hopefully save as many gems. Again, that 10 draw gave us nothing that we were looking for. So we're probably going to almost pull this entire box before we actually get what we want. Which is unfortunate, but how it goes. We even got the Yosenju card. We got nothing that we wanted to get. So we're down to 33 packs left in our first box. And it's been a while since we got any of the cards we were even looking at. Okay, so what do we have here? We got Crystron Impact, so that's one more. We're looking for a lot of these. If we could like prismatic out our deck, since we're gonna be in this box so much, that would be pretty cool too. But prismatics are fairly rare. So what do we have left? We have Super Team Buddy Force and we have Winda left. So now we're gonna single pull real quick until we can get both of those. The second we get both of those, we are done. We might want to do 10 pulls, but we're down to the last 20. And just by doing this, so there's our Super Team Buddy Force. All we're looking for now is Winda. Okay, apparently we are restarting the game. Alright, well that's going to put a little damper on the whole situation. I don't know why the game does that all the time. Let's hide that today in case they boot us again. Get out of here. Alright, so back into the shop. That was an unfortunate setback. But we still got our Super Team Buddy Force. Obviously, you don't lose anything when something like that happens. And we're just single polling right now because if this has a pretty high chance of being Winda, I think. It is not. Unluck. So we've almost pulled every single rare card in this box. We got 3 rare cards left. We need Elders. If we could get a Prismatic Elder or something, because he's pretty core to the deck. That's pretty much what we're looking for. We're trying to make the deck look as snazzy as possible now that we have most of our cards that aren't the rare versions. Oh, come on, man. So right now we're just trying to save gems. Every pack that we don't have to open saves us 50 gems. And we only need one more card, so it could be in any of these packs. Show me a window. Now, I always like to be as efficient as possible. So if it's up to me, I would always do this. Obviously, some people don't care as much about saving their gems, or maybe if you're spending money, you don't have the option to pick and choose opening one pack at a time. Because a lot of the deals you can see in the middle are like open 3 packs, and then it'll go up to open 10 packs. So you don't have control over how much of the box you actually open if you spend money. But if you're using your gems, in my opinion, you should always use them as efficiently as possible. Because say I build Ritual Beasts, I spent all this time and effort building it, and then I don't really like it. All of a sudden I have no gems left to build a different deck. And so just by doing this, like, obviously this first box isn't cooperating with us, but say we had opened it right there, we'd save 450 gems. That's 10% of the next box. And if you can save 450 gems 3 times, then you're already almost halfway through another mini box. Oh my goodness. But yeah, you're almost halfway through another mini box at that point. So you can see how just like being as efficiently as possible can stack up very quickly. Now I don't know why the game insists on kicking me. It can't be anything to do with my internet. because it just like always kicks me. No matter if I'm on my phone at a different location that has different internet, it's always just this game. It's very finicky. So let's keep going. Any pack now, like this one could be, it's not, but it could have been. So window might actually be the last card that we draw out of this box, which would be hilarious, but kind of not fitting at all because I'm trying to show efficiency, but irony, I guess, would be the right word for it. It's ironic that we're doing as poorly as possible at being efficient. Now somehow I feel like we're gonna end up with all the Yosenju cards, even though I said I didn't care. And there's a certain point where you've crossed the line of efficiency. So if it had been 5 packs ago and I drew Winda, I might have reset. But with only 3 packs in the box, if I draw Winda before this Yosenju card, I'm still gonna open the rest of the box to get the Yosenju card. Okay, see? So now we can display this example perfectly. We have our Winda, which is fantastic. Love that. It's only 2 packs for this last Yosenju card. I said I don't care, but I'm all about efficiency here. So we are going to open the last 2 packs, 100 gems, to get that last SR card, because it is guaranteed. And there you go. So, we've opened the box 1 entire time, and now might be a good time to grab the rest of our gems, just so we have a good idea of how many we actually have. So we're down to 6,000. We spent 5,000 on that first box. So we'll receive all of our gems. And I know there's some big piles of gems at the end here, so we might not even be able to receive them all, actually. Let's see, how many gems did we actually have? Okay, we had about 4,500 gems in our storage, which is a lot. With 15,000 gems, as you can see, what we're doing here is we are building a top tier deck where you can get all of the cards out of a mini box. And so with 15,000 gems, you can guarantee yourself this deck that I'm currently building. So we got the Crystron already. Good start there. And we'll go through this a little bit quicker since we're not down to the bottom. Nothing there. Unfortunate, but that's just how it goes. We'll keep crashing on through. We got a glossy Super Team Buddy Force, so that's kind of funny. But still not all of the core cards we need. Okay, so there's one of our Ulti Apelios, which I think the deck I'm gonna use might only use 2 of them, but that I'm not gonna try to not get the third one. The third one seems like at least having it as an option would be wise. Come on. Nothing here really. We're gonna end up opening all 3 of these boxes in their entirety. And it's gonna be the most ironic thing ever caught on video. There's another Canahawk. So what are we looking for now? We have Crystron Impact left and Winda left. So if we can get lucky and pull both of those, then we can move on. Got nothing there. Now once it gets down to 1 card, then I'll stop doing the 10 pulls. Okay, so we got Winda. We got all the URs. So now we're just looking for this Crystron Impact. And we are going to start single pulling. If this could just be it, that'd be great, but it is not, so that is unfortunate. And again, I'm only doing this at this point. If you were only going for Ritual Beasts and didn't care about Crystrons, We already got the Super Team Buddy Force, so you could just kind of scrap it there, reset the box, save yourself 1,000 gems. Definitely an option. As I am possibly looking to build Crystron sometime, I'm not gonna do it like that. But we really can't catch a break at the moment, huh? It's bringing us down to the wire, and it's always this Yosenju card that's the one that's left. I don't know why, but that one's always teasing me with like, you could just pull the rest of the box and guarantee both of them. But I got a good feeling about this. Okay, not this pack. But I got a good feeling that in the next 4 packs, before we get down to 10, we're going to get this Crystron Impact. And then we're not going to have to worry about it. Come on. Actually, hilariously enough, we don't have enough gems to pull all the way through the 3rd box. Which is just completely absurd. Unless I stop now, or get that Crystron Impact in the next few, we won't have enough to full clear the last box. Alright. You know, when I said I wanted to play Duel Links, I didn't want to play Disconnect Links. Let's get back into it. Few setbacks, but we're almost done with the 2nd box. After that, quickly run through the 3rd box, then we can build our deck. And then next time we will actually start the ladder. Now, since we're doing the ladder all the way from the bottom, obviously it's going to start really easy. You're going to have people who don't even have built decks at the beginning. And so we'll probably shoot up through the ranks till we get maybe partially through like gold or to platinum or something. And now it's being slow to load as well. But yeah, once we finally get to a higher rank, it will start to become difficult and we'll really have to focus on playing well. Alright, well the last card in the box is Crystron Impact, which is just unfortunate, really. But that's just how it goes sometimes. And obviously, something to note, once I get to the last box, especially since I've pulled every card, every SR and every UR out of the first 2 boxes, once I get to the 3rd box, I can stop at any time without resetting the box and just let it sit there. And I think this is it. There we go. Okay, so now we can see we got all of these already. And we will reset the box. 6 packs saved. That's 55 or 550 gems that we... Wait, no. That's 300 gems. I just can't do math. But we'll reset the box. So now, the second we pull the cards we want, so if I get these 3... maybe the Super Team Buddy Force, but the Crystrons can wait. Like, I don't care if I get these right now because the box is always going to be here at that same amount. So say I get the 3 cards I want in 50 pulls, then I can just drop the box and go build my deck. And then when I decide I want Crystrons, I can come back to this box and pull the rest of it and essentially have them guaranteed within 50 packs. So it's just like, you gotta play your odds as well as you can. Obviously it hasn't been going too well for me, but we saved 300 gems and we've pulled literally nothing out of this box so far. We just want Ulti Apelio, Winda, and Cannahawk. So there's our Cannahawk. We're done with Cannahawks. None of them were glossy or prismatic, unfortunately. That's just how it goes. I don't think any of our windows are either. Nope. Unfortunate. So we'll keep 10 polling until we get down. Well, I guess the efficient thing to do would be, even if we get down to that last one, to just single pull. Let's just see how it goes. Because right now, it's looking like it would be really funny if we didn't even get all of them. Which we already have our third Crystron. We have 4 of this card. That doesn't even help me. The biggest disaster that could happen right now is we're like... Okay, so there's an Apelio. But yeah, the biggest disaster that could happen is we run out of gems before we get Winda. And that would just be hilariously awful. There's still no Winda there. Now, how many gems do we have left? So we are 80 gems short of being able to open the entire box. Which is ridiculous. So we're gonna start single pulling for the last little bit here. We got some time. So we're gonna try and save as many gems as we can, hoping for that Winda in the next few packs. But luck has not been on my side today. Maybe they'll just give us like a prismatic window. That would be pretty funny. Every once in a while, you just get like a really rare core card, prismatic. I think I have from 6 Samurais, because I went all in on 6 Samurais when they came out. I have a prismatic dual wield, which was a super rare in the box. So I like to show that off. But I'm not sure that I have that many prismatic UR cards. It's just, I don't know if it's less likely. It's probably just as likely as every other card to be prismatic. You just draw so much less of them. Come on, window. I swear, if we're 2 packs short and she's still in the box, we're gonna have to, like, build the deck without her. Start doing the duels, because the ranked rewards give you a bunch of gems, and we'll have to go win like 5 duels or something before we can actually buy the last 2 packs in the box. Just show me Ritual Beast. Now, if you're wondering how I saved up so many gems, that's not what we want. But if you're wondering how I saved up so many gems, it was essentially just me not really playing for 1 or 2, actually it was more like 3 months even. I just didn't play, but I would still log in every once in a while and just like collect my box rewards. Every time a new box came out, you get 500 gems. So I'd collect that. And then when I started playing again, just like the random events, this is not it either, but that's Super Team Buddy Force. So we literally only have 2 cards that we want in the box now. This is just getting ridiculous. But yeah, if you just log in or do any of the events that they have, like right now they have a little dual circuit thing where when you duel, you just have a chance to earn rewards. And this is actually it. So we've done it. Victory achieved. So there's the window. The last Crystron Impact is still in this box, but we're not going to open it right now. We're going to hold on to our gems. We have 671 gems left over. If we want this last Crystron Impact, it'll cost us 750 gems to guarantee it, which is fine. So we're just going to leave this box as is. And if we ever need it, it is there for us. And now we're going to actually build our deck. Now, the common user of a Ritual Beast deck, we're looking for regular duelists. Now, which one are we going to drop? We're playing a Shizu here. I got some weird decks. Most of them aren't legal anymore because they're all very old. Look at this. This is how you used to play 6 Samurais here. Or at least this was one of my 6 Samurai decks. It's pretty gross. There's that prismatic dual wield. You got 2 of these guys, 3 of these guys, which Note, now you can only run one of each if you're running both. Most people just run 2 dojos and just get rid of the Anishi. But I like to run 1 Anishi, 1 dojo. But either way, let us clear this deck. How do you clear? We empty out our deck. We're gonna call it Ritual Beasts. And our skill, we're gonna go with Ashizu's best skill, which is Sealed Tombs. If you don't know what Sealed Tombs does, until the end of your opponent's turn, neither player can banish cards from the graveyard or special summon monsters from the graveyard. The skill can only be used once per duel. So after you're done making all your plays on your turn, you pop Sealed Tombs, go into your battle phase, do whatever you were gonna do, and then on your opponent's turn, they still can't use their graveyard how they want to. And so they might not be able to do their plays in response to what you just did, leaving it so you essentially have the turn afterwards to try and kill them before they've gotten to actually do what they wanted. So, now we're going to build our deck. Look up Ritual. Okay, no, Ritual's bad because it gives all Ritual monsters. So let's look up Ritual Beasts specifically. Now, I've been trying to decide if we run 3 or 2 of these. This is the only real contention I have. I think I'm going to go with 3. My intuition tells me 3, which means we run 2 of these and we run 1 of these. Now, if we look at how glossy our deck is, both our Canahawks are glossy. Unfortunately, our Ulti Petalfin is not. None of these are glossy. That's just how it goes. Alright, so final, or just the normal deck now. We're going to want 3 windows, which we spent a good amount of gems collecting. 3 Canahawks. Now, I kind of disagree with the deck I'm looking at for this. They say go 2 of these and go 1 of these guys. I'm going to go 2 of these Penguins, 1 of the Petalfins. And keep in mind, this is all up to what you want. 3 and 3 for these 2 is pretty standard. The last one that we're going to run 3 of is Elder, also very standard. You're going to want 3 of these 3 cards here. And then the others are kind of up to what you think you need more of. And we're going to run 1 Apelio here. So that's our monsters. We got 13 monsters, so it's a very monster-heavy deck. Now we're looking at our spells, and we're going to run 2 of these, and we're going to run 1 of these. Unfortunately, we only have 1 glossy of these, but we're running 2 of them, and we have 2 glossy of these, but we're only running 1. And then finally, we are going to add cards that aren't Ritual Beast cards, but work very well with the deck. Cosmic Cyclone, very popular card. I have 2 of them already. If you don't have a Cosmic Cyclone, getting one with one of your dream tickets, highly recommended. Or I'm going to show you in the shop, there's a guaranteed one, which I don't even have yet, so I could have my 3rd one by getting that guaranteed one. Drop $5 on the game, get 10 packs, and 10 packs from the newest box. And a Cosmic Cyclone. Very good deal if you're just looking to spend a very small amount of money and get a big bang for your buck. And then our last card that we're playing here, Treacherous Trap Hole. You can only run 2 of them, and how it works is if you have no trap cards in your graveyard, you can use it. So pretty much the only reason you're running 2 is to get them more commonly. You can't actually use both in the same duel unless you have a way to return it to your hand or deck, which our deck cannot do. So there is our deck. You can look at it. We're running 3 windows, 3 Canahawks, 3 Elders down here, and then the random Spiritual Beasts. We're running Petalfin. We're running 2 Rampengu and 1 Apelio. If we'll go over their effects real quick, Winda is pretty much the craziest card in this deck, because like I mentioned earlier, she counts as both a Ritual Beast Tamer and a Spiritual Beast. But on top of that, if she is destroyed by an opponent's card, so that's battle or card effect, you can special summon one ritual beast from your deck or extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. And then all of our main deck monsters are going to have this effect where they can only be special summoned once per turn. But so Winda gets placed on the field, your opponent kills it, you just pull out Ulti Apelio. Straight out of your extra deck, you pull out Ulti Cannahawk, you pull out Petalfin, put Petalfin in defense mode, it protects you. You can pull out any of these cards from your deck as well, but generally you're going to be looking at your extra deck because that's where your super powerful monsters are. And then Cannahawk here, once per turn we can banish a Ritual Beast card from our deck face up. And it's kind of like a Golden Sarcophagus, so during our second standby phase, after you activate it, it'll come to our hand. Generally, we're not worried about that second effect because with our fusions, we're going to be moving them in and out of our banish pile so often that it's probably never going to come to our hand, but it is an option. Petalfin over here, we are going to banish a Ritual Beast card from our hand, so we're going to need some fodder in our hand to use this, but then we can target one card our opponent controls and return it to their hand. Very good for removing big monsters that aren't immune to this effect. Anything that's not immune but is very strong that we can't get over, we are going to want to use Petalfin for. If we look at our monsters, our biggest attack here is 2600. So we're looking at any monster that's above 2600, we're trying to Petalfin to get it out of there. Rampengu, once per turn we can banish one Ritual Beast from our extra deck, so any one of these here, and then we can send one Ritual Beast with the same monster type from our deck to the graveyard. So if we send an Ulti Apelio, he is a Pyro type, so we can send our regular Apelio from our deck to the graveyard. And this guy will go into the banish pile. So Cannahawk, Ulti Cannahawk goes with regular Cannahawk, they're both Thunder type, and Petalfin and Ulti Petalfin are both Aqua type. And so after we get them into the graveyard, we get one of our regular Ritual Beasts into the graveyard and one of our fusions into the banish pile. We're looking to use a card like Return here, where we banish one Ritual Beast and then target one in our graveyard and special summon it. So again, we need hand fodder for this, but if we have a card in our hand and we use Rampengu, we can easily get one of the smaller Ritual Beasts out and continue our combos. Now if we look at Elder, he's pretty important to your deck. You're gonna want to have him preferably your first turn. If you can't, then you're gonna have to get more creative, which is Winda essentially adds creativity to the deck, because Elder is going to initiate all of your plays. Elder, after you normal summon him, you can normal summon any Ritual Beast monster in your normal phase, or in your main phase. So you summon him, you summon anything, Cannahawk, Rampengu, Petalfin, and you can either use their effect or not use their effect. With Cannahawk, you're probably always using his effect. And you need 2 monsters on the field to start fusion summoning. All of the fusions in this deck are contact fusions. So if we have 2 on the field, we can instantly fusion into any of these as long as it's our turn. And then we can use them to defusion, and we can also use that defusion effect on our opponent's turn. And then the final Ritual Beast, Spiritual Beast that we have is Apelio, and Apelio is going to, on either player's turn, we can banish one Ritual Beast from our graveyard. So if we've used Rampengu to send something to the graveyard, then we can use Apelio to banish that, and by having it in our banish pile, the banish pile is more useful to us than the graveyard. So having an Apelio in your deck is pretty important because it allows you to move those things that get destroyed or sent to the graveyard for whatever reason back into your banish pile and allow you to use them again. And after you've done that effect, all of your Ritual Beast monsters will get 500 attack and defense for the rest of the turn. So this card, since it can be used on your opponent's turn, as long as he's face up, if it's about to get destroyed, You can send something from your graveyard to make sure that your fusions can be used your next turn, or that you can defusion at the end of your opponent's turn, all that nonsense. Cosmic Cyclone, if you don't know what it does, pay 1,000 life points, target one spell or trap on the field, and you banish it. Very good card. It counters a whole bunch of different just like types of effects. Generally, if you're scared of a back row card that might be hurting you in the battle phase, you can Cosmic Cyclone it before the battle phase. They can't even activate it. Or if you have nothing on the field and you just Cosmic Cyclone their card, even if they activate it in response, unless it's like exclusively helping them, if it's a card that's designed to hurt you, then they can't even do anything with it. Ritual Beast Return, we already looked at. We need a card in our hand, and then we can target a Ritual Beast, target one of your Ritual Beasts that is banished or in your graveyard, and we can special summon it. Good to just, because it's a quick play spell, so we can use it during the battle phase. And if we think we have lethal, then we can swap out to a different monster that can then attack and catch your opponent by surprise. If they thought they weren't gonna die, then suddenly you have lethal on the field. Or if they've activated a card that prevented you from getting lethal, you can surprise them with this and actually change it to lethal. Ritual Beast's Bond, we can banish 2 Ritual Beast monsters that we control, so they gotta be on the field, and then we special summon 1 Ritual Beast from our extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So this is gonna be another card that we can just use to try and guarantee us lethal, because these monsters, after they attack, you can, because it's a quick effect to defusion them back into 2 regular beasts. But say we can't actually fusion again during the battle phase. So if we attack with Ultipelio and he does 2600 damage, then we can defusion into any 2 combination of Spiritual Beast and Ritual Beast Tamer that are in our banish pile, but they always go into defense mode. So you can't attack with them. But using this card, we can actually fusion summon again during our battle phase and say summon another Ritual Beast Ultipelio and go for lethal in the same turn. And then finally, Treacherous Trap Hole, just a really good card. We are running 2 just to make it more consistent, and we just target 2 monsters on the field and destroy those targets. If your opponent has 2 monsters, both of them are killable by this. You can just pop them both. If you have 1 monster and your opponent has 1 monster, you can destroy them both. This deck is very good. First of all, we have Ulti-Petalfin, which can't be destroyed by card effects. So we could use this on our own Ulti-Petalfin and then one of our opponent's cards. It'll just destroy their card and our card will be fine. Also, if we have one of our Ritual Beast fusions on the field, we can Treacherous Trap Hole, say Ultipelio's on the field, we don't like his monster. We target our Ritual Beast Ultipelio, we target his monster, and then we defusion Apelio into the 2 pieces. Ultipelio dodges the destruction, his monster still dies. So now if we look at our actual fusions, what they do, we already talked about Petalfin. Petalfin's advantage is it has lots of defense, 2,800 defense over here, and it can't be destroyed by card effects. Now Ultipelio is our biggest attacker with 2,600 attack, and when he attacks, it is unaffected by other card effects until the end of the damage step. So you can't Sphere Karibo it, you can't decrease its attack with Wall of D, you can't do anything to it. So this card is our card that guarantees us lethal very often, because people like to run cards that save themselves at the last second, something that'll negate our attack, something that'll move us to defense position, anything that will save them. It will not work on this once this card has declared its attack. And finally, we have our Ritual Beast Ulti-Canahawk. Now, he is more of a utility. He's not that high in attack or defense. He has 1,400 attack, 1,600 defense. And what he does is he is going to allow you to target 2 of your banished Ritual Beast cards and return them to the graveyard. And if one of those cards makes it to the graveyard, then you can add 1 Ritual Beast card from your deck to your hand. Now, I say if one of them makes it to the graveyard because this is very important. Obviously, I mentioned earlier that you don't want your Ritual Beasts in the graveyard because you can't use them for fusioning then, or defusioning anymore. So, what we do with Cannahawk is we target 2 cards in our banish pile, and 1 card that we don't care about, and 1 card that we do care about. And we need 3 cards total in our banish pile to do this combo, so it's important to remember that. And when we activate that effect on the card we don't care about, and one of the cards that we do care about, we instantly chain the effect that all of these Ritual Beast fusions share, which is you can return this card you control to the extra deck, then target 2 of your banished monsters, 1 Ritual Beast Tamer, and 1 Spiritual Beast, and special summon them in defense position. Now this is a quick effect. You can do it during either player's turn, and if we chain it to his effect, where we're sending 1 monster we don't want and 1 monster we do want, we then pick the 2 monsters that we do want to summon. Both of them will be summoned, and the 1 monster we don't want will go to the graveyard. Now you might be like, why don't you just not send anything to the graveyard? Then this search effect, where you add 1 Ritual Beast card from your deck to your hand, will not go off. If no card ends up in the graveyard at the end of this chain, you will not get to search for a card. So it's important that at least one of the 2 cards you're choosing ends up in the graveyard. So Cannahawk is going to be one of our main plays that we're going to see very often. We're probably going to go into him, do our search, do our combo where we chain, put back 2 monsters, and then we'll go into either a Cannahawk again, because each Cannahawk can only use its effect once per turn, but if you summon a new Cannahawk, it can do it again. And if we use regular Cannahawk, who is going to be banishing things, every time we get a new regular Cannahawk on the field, he can also use his effect to banish a new thing, so we can get a whole bunch of different monsters into our banish pile quickly, so we can fusion summon multiple times per turn, and then make sure we end up in a good position. So if we need to be defensive, we'll probably end with a Petal Fin on the wall. If we're being offensive, we'll end up with an Ulti Apelio. We'll probably try not to end with an Ulti Cannahawk on the field, although if we need extra searches, we might go for Ulti Cannahawk on the field. Ulti Cannahawk also has some OTK potential with regular Beast Apelio, because you can search for Ritual Beast Return. So there might be some plays that we make like that. But now we have talked about the deck, and the only last thing I wanted to show was what I mentioned with Cosmic Cyclone. If you're looking to try and at least get close to the deck that I have built, you had 15,000 gems, you dug through the box 3 times, got all the cards I had, but you're like, I don't have 2 Treacherous Trap Holes, I don't have 2 Cosmic Cyclones, what do I do? So if you go over to the specials here in the shop, once it loads, so here's this deal. All of these deals, you can see here at the bottom, I bought 1 of them, but all of these deals, so this Canadia, this Cyclone, not this one, but I would ignore this one, don't worry about that one, probably ignore this one as well unless you really want Mirror Wall, but the good ones are Sphere Karibo, Cosmic Cyclone, and Canadia. All top tier cards. You can get one for $5, and it will also give you 10 packs of whatever the most recent box is. In this case, it says Future Horizon because that is currently the new box. So this is the way that you could get one of those Cosmic Cyclones and start digging into the new box as well. And then at that point, you only have a few other cards that you actually need to fill. There's a whole bunch of options that we might talk about later in the series, depending on if I think I need different things. Once our opponents get more difficult, then we might need to add a few more defensive options. At the moment, our deck is very offensive. It's designed to win quickly and defeat the lower level opponents, but this deck can also be used at high levels, so don't think that you need more defensive options, but we'll talk about more defensive options later on. So either way, that is going to do it for this one. Quite a long video, how to build a top tier deck. This is one of the best decks in the game currently for 15,000 gems. That's it. We spent slightly less than 15,000 gems. We still got 671 left over. We had like 14,500 total, so we spent less than 14,000 gems, built one of the best decks in the game, and next time we will start using it in Rookie as we make our way to KOG. Hopefully this was all informative and useful. If some people might not have wanted to watch the deck building part, but I think the deck building is valuable. Kind of teaches people how to pull boxes efficiently. Even though we didn't get a lot of good examples, we got to show at least our second box that we didn't have to pull everything, so we skipped. I tried to show good polling etiquette, but we ended up pulling almost everything just because the cards we needed ended up being last. But either way, hopefully this was useful to you. Next time we'll get to dueling, and I think this deck is gonna be fun. I know a lot of people don't like it because it's slow, but it's mostly only slow to play against. If you're playing it, you're always the one making all the plays. You're doing a whole bunch of stuff, so hopefully that's cool. And being that it's one of the best decks in the game, it's important to know what it does and how it works. So if you ever run into it yourself and you're not using it, you can actually compete against it and you don't just get smashed. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next one when we actually start dueling.